Welcome to the Fight Night Daily podcast on talkSPORT. As you can see, they are de-rigging behind us here at Wembley Stadium because we've just witnessed a little bit of greatness. I'm Adam Catterall, Spencer Oliver's here, Dave Allen's here, as is Gareth A.Davies. We talked all week, we built it up, we told you about the undisputed championship fight, the history fight, the first time that all four belts have been on the line on British soil, and the man that rose kind of expectedly was Oleksandr Usyk.
Yeah, you said you saw a little bit of greatness. I thought we saw a stadium full of greatness. And he goes out into the night, like all the people here tonight, knowing that a big debate will rage now as to where he actually sits in the pantheon of the all-time heavyweight greats. I thought he was astounding from beginning to end. He discombobulated, he mesmerised, he'd used his magician skills against Daniel Dubois, and it took him under 15 minutes. He was brilliant from first to the last. I take nothing away from Daniel Dubois, because he did what he had to do. But for me, we watched majesty tonight.
He picked him apart, didn't he?
He absolutely picked him apart. You know, you're talking about greatness. Yeah, Muhammad Ali will go down and he'll always be the greatest. But let's talk about who's the best. And Oleksandr Usyk, his name is right up there, right? You don't become a three-time undisputed world champion, do what he's done, jump through the weight divisions, beat everyone of that era. And that performance that he put in tonight was the best Oleksandr Usyk I've actually seen. I think that you got to put him up there, man. That was phenomenal. People talking about age, you know, was he showing signs of wear and tear after the two Fury fights? Well, he answered all those questions. He looked young, he looked fresh, and he made a potentially difficult fight easy.
Can I bring Dave in here?
Yeah,
Obviously, you're the heavyweight. Would he have beaten Muhammad Ali? Would he have beaten Evander Holyfield? Would he have beaten Lennox Lewis? Would he have beaten George Foreman?
It's very difficult to say, and I think very unfair. You know, obviously with time we've had, you know, there's been improvements in strength and conditioning, nutrition, all the rest of it. On different generations, you cannot compare, you know, and he will go down as one of the best of all time.
But does his skill set, I know all those things apart, does he belong in the conversation with those people?
Oh, of course. He belongs in the conversation with Sugar Ray Leonard, Ray Robinson. I put him in that bracket, I really do. Because it's 2025 and he's still active, it's difficult to do that. When you tend to appreciate things more when they're gone. So in 20 years' time, I think people will go, Usyk was as good as Robinson, as good as Leonard, but right now it's a bit of a controversial thing to say, but I think he's in that conversation.
The thing to really drive on for people watching this at home, yes, there's multiweight world champions, right? And we've got some great ones in the world right now. Terence Crawford's obviously won, Inoue's won, and Canelo's done it as well, right? This guy was the undisputed champion at cruiserweight. He did it all on the road, beating all the best in their own back garden, unified all the belts. He's then come up to heavyweight. Now, the other weight jumps, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 7 pounds. He's jumping up 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 70 pounds. And he's demolishing guys. He's not just beating them once, he's beating them twice. And the second time, he beats him even more convincing than he did the first time around.
That's what I'm saying. He gets that data and he takes it away and he comes back better, stronger. You know, I think that Don Charles and the team, I was in and around that the whole time through that 14-week camp. And you're seeing what they're working on and, you know, how they can do that. And I'm going, if they can implement what they're working on and the data they've got, they may just catch Usyk out here. Usyk just went out there and delivered, mate. Like, that's what great fighters do. You get good champions and you get great fighters, the ones that can adapt why it's going. And Oleksandr Usyk is the master of that. You can't deny that. And Dave's right in what you say. So when you're living in that time, you know, we remember Lennox Lewis. I was boxing on all Lennox Lewis's undercards back in the day, and they were talking about Lennox Lewis, you know, coming after Mike Tyson, and, you know, looking at Larry Holmes and Mike and all the rest of them. And you go, where does he sit in it? And they're going, well, yeah, he's a good heavyweight and only time. Now we look at it and go, Lennox is one of the greatest, if not the greatest to ever do it. Usyk is in that argument. You can't not deny that guy, you know, is as good as any of them.
Usyk would have given Lennox Lewis the same problems that Evander Holyfield gave him, in my view, because of that incredible movement of the feet, the magician's hands, the angles he creates. The
Lennox was a good technician, though.
No, he wasn't. I'm not saying he wasn't. But all the things that he has, all those southpaw skills, the angles that he creates as a lefty.
One for you. Would Oleksandr Usyk have beaten Evander Holyfield, the other cruiserweight undisputed who
It's
jumped
an
up?
unbelievable fight, that. That's very, very hard to call stylistically when you see the silhouettes moving. Dave, let me throw something to you. Is Oleksandr Usyk also going to go down as the fighter? He said this feels like a second home. He's so comfortable here. We love him here. They clearly love him in this country as well as his own. Is he going to go down in history as the destroyer of an era of heavyweight boxers from Britain, and maybe even including Moses Talma?
He's the best of our generation by far. He has to be. He's beat everybody. He's literally beat everybody. You could say he's not beat Wilder. You could say Talma's still to come. Parker. He's beat everybody. Daniel Dubois, for me, Daniel Dubois was poor tonight. I know we're not getting onto that yet, but he was poor tonight. But he's beat Fury twice. He's beat Joshua twice. He mopped up at cruiserweight. He's done it all. Yeah, there's nothing really much else to add. He's one of the best of all time.
Was he made to look poor?
He was, yeah, of course. Because we're saying he's one of the greatest of all time. He's made to look poor. But Daniel, you can look poor, but this is a world champion with his hands by his chest, following Usyk, stumbling over his own feet, couldn't even cut the ring off. He was poor. I thought it was really poor.
Breathing out of his mouth in that third round, wasn't he? He looked
Usyk
gassed.
is fantastic, and Usyk will make anyone look a bit daft. But even if you're looking a bit daft, doing like falling over your own feet, but his hands are by his chest. There's no excuse not to have his hands in the right
He
position.
had no idea he was getting tied up in knots in there. That's the problem. That's why you get your champions and you get your elite level champions. And I think that's what we found out there. Usyk recognises how to control the space. Daniel never had the intelligence to be able to close that space. That was the difference there. And Dave's right in what he says. He's falling over his feet, falling out of range. Yeah. And Usyk's just judging it by a couple of centimetres, and he's coming in with the shots, and that's the difference.
He knows what danger is, and Daniel Dubois is dangerous, because the funny thing is, what we're talking about right now, you've been telling us all week in every interview, because you sparred him, and you said he makes you feel stupid, he demoralises you, he weakens your mindset.
Daniel was beat maybe a minute in. He got hit with 3 or 4 jabs, he was made to miss. At the end of round 1, I believe Daniel's dad was in shouting double jab right and taking over the corner. Don Charles is the trainer.
Right.
That's Daniel's dad. They've got a great relationship. There's one coach. If I was with Jamie Moore for 10 weeks and my old man came here and started giving me instructions, he'd be told where to go by me and Jamie. It's ridiculous.
There were
Don
25
Charles
lads in that corner.
He's a great coach, Don Charles. Daniel Dubois' father should not be given any instruction. He's not a boxing coach. Whatever relationship they've got, fantastic. He's not a boxing coach. It was a shambles from... It went all wrong for Daniel.
Can I ask all? I know it's a point well made, and it's a point
that corner was a mess.
Yeah,
There was 25 people stood in this corner.
was, but there was going on all the time for him during that fight, and they could not deal with it. They didn't know how to deal with it. I'm going to ask all three of you a question. Was Usyk winning tonight good for the division? Adam?
Well, yeah. Why would it not be? We've all just said, we are in a time of greatness. I think it's really good to appreciate that greatness. I've seen the tweet from Turki Al-Sheikh. He's talking about trying to stick Moses Talma in there.
Too soon for a Talma.
Well, they've said this on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Way too soon for him. Joseph Parker's next. If Oleksandr Usyk decides to continue, and I'm more than happy with him riding off into the sunset as the greatest that I've ever watched, and I'll think fondly of him for years and years and years and years. The division should be moving on. We had this conversation on the actual broadcast that we had tonight.
Yeah.
When I was talking to Dave and yourself about it. Why is Parker not fighting a Caballel? Why are the top contenders not fighting the top contenders? Let them crack on. Let them distinguish who is the best of the rest.
They could have fought each other already, and the winner of that could be stepping in here tonight.
They could have.
There's two
What do you think about him winning, Spence?
Oh, listen,
Is it good for the division?
Of course it's good for the division. I think that you have to have these generational greats, and he will go down as an all-time great, and we are witnessing it. He's got 2 fights left now. He's got Joseph Parker, and he's got Agit Caballel. They're the 2 fights.
And maybe Fury by the noise in here when they...
Fury twice, it's done.
But there was a lot of noise for it in here.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is dead and buried. Fury twice.
AJ twice,
Dubois twice.
Derek.
Now give Joseph Parker his shot and Caballel
No, I
his
agree
shot.
with you.
And once he's done that, you cannot argue this guy is an all-time
The
great.
thing is, right, you're coming at that maybe from that commercial angle.
No, just a noise in here when they mention him. Not next, I'm saying after those
But what
two.
I'm saying is, he's the star now.
He is the star.
Usyk's the star. He's come here, he's stolen AJ's fandom, he's stolen Fury's fandom, he's taken Dubois' fandom. There's a lot of people in here, British, not just Ukrainians. Love that fella. They'll travel around the world to watch him.
Let me ask our big, bold, bodacious, beautiful heavyweight who's with us tonight. Was that good, Usyk winning tonight for the division?
It was good. It was great for boxing. He's an absolute superstar. Like, no matter England, Ukraine, America, he's a superstar wherever he goes. Daniel Dubois winning would have been good for the division. A man in his 20s taking over the division, and the next superstar is going to be around for 10 years. Oleksandr Usyk's not going to be around forever. Dubois winning would have been good, but hopefully...
I think it's fair to say that he had more of a cheer here tonight than that.
Yeah, you
A
did.
bigger crowd.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen,
Doesn't that say it all?
in answer
He's
to
so
your-
popular,
doesn't that say it
superstar.
all?
In answer to your question, which Dave's kind of alluding to, making great fights is good for the division.
It was still a
Just
great
make
fight.
great
There was
fights.
still great anticipation.
Oh, you're on the edge of your
we were
seat.
still on the edge of our seats. I was still trying to emphasise, even wrongly probably, after 4 rounds, that Daniel still got a great puncher's chance because he went for it.
You weren't wrongly, because Daniel, he has got a puncher's chance. Every heavyweight's got a puncher's chance, but if they can't close the space, it's never going to happen.
Would you have a puncher's chance against him?
Who Usyk?
Yeah.
Of course he would. He
Don't
can whack.
Don't ask silly questions. I just compared the man to Ray Robinson. Let's see if I can beat him.
Listen, in all seriousness, it's been a fantastic week, hasn't it? Being
Amazing.
around such a historic night where everything's on the line in the heavyweight division, there is nothing like it. There's nothing like the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, and we've been blessed to see quite a few of those recently, and even better to see it in the National Stadium tonight. Listen, I said this on the broadcast: 4 belts, 2 warriors, 1 truth. That truth is Oleksandr Usyk. We'll catch you next time.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.